It's 2 hours each night. Well, two and a half.
Right, we will go ahead and call the Wednesday, August 21st, regular council meeting to order. Start with the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Duncan. Here. Farlinger. Here. Gabriel.
Here.
Kramer. Yeah. Whitehead.
Here.
Take a start. The civility pledge. We pledge to promote civility by listening, being respectful of others, and acknowledging that we are all striving to support and improve our community. Respecting and approval of the agenda. Any changes to the agenda tonight?
Only change is, Supervisor Vivix for Orize is not able to attend.
Okay.
I'll second.
Duncan.
Yes.
Farlinger.
Yes.
Gabriel.
Yes.
Kramer.
Yes.
Whitehead.
Yes.
Next is citizen speak. This is a time for anybody that would like to speak on anything that is not an agenda items. Anybody tonight? All right. Takes us to consent agenda. So approval of the minutes from the August 7th regular meeting, approval of the list of bills, treasurer's reports and transfers, building permits are a good number of them tonight. And beer and liquor license approvals. We have one for Sam's Main Street Market and one JCB outdoor service. So that would be buffs for the Oktoberfest that we went through the event last meeting.
Just one comment. Susie and I, we just got notified this afternoon that ABD is considering a, what's it called? Automatic renewal for the beer and liquor license. And, the council has not had a chance to talk about if that's something that they want to entertain for our local businesses or not. Sam has applied for automatic renewal, so we'd like to table this until council's had a chance to discuss if that is something they want to opt. If the automatic renewals are something we want to offer local businesses or not.
Is that gonna be an agenda item on a future date? Okay.
Do we want to table the Sam's liquor license tonight, or would that hold up? Is it all if we table it for?
Because they're just applying for automatic renewal.
Oh, okay, so that application is only for automatic renewal. Okay.
Also, I want to mention that we have Spencer Larson on the Zoom. He's representing the Ride for Youth, which is an event application.
Oh, okay, fine. Well, let's, that we can go ahead and turn it over to Spencer. Spencer, can you run us through the Ride for Youth, United Action for Youth event?
Yeah. Are you guys able to see me too?
Now again.
Good, awesome, perfect. Nice to see you all. Nice to meet you. I'm a second-year medical student here at the University of Iowa, Carver College of Medicine. And every year we do a Ride for Youth event, which is a bike ride that we have different routes that we'll do. So a 10-mile route, a 25-mile route, and a 55-mile route. So Cami and I have been working the past few weeks pretty diligently, going through and making sure all the permits are good, meeting with different Park and Rec representatives to make sure that our stop along the route in Solon specifically is good. Let me backtrack to Solon is only going to be on the 55-mile route. So Solon will not be involved in the 10 and 25-mile route. So if I am able to, I was going to try to share my screen here to kind of let you guys know kind of where the route is going to go based on some things that we talked about, Cami and I. It looks like, okay, perfect. Thank you. Sorry, lots of stuff going on here. So first off, this is the flyer. So I'll send this to Cami after we're done today. But this kind of highlights when the event is. So it's going to be on September 15th, which is a Sunday. Usually starts at about 8 to 9 a.m. when riders will be sent off. So like I mentioned, Solon will only be a part of the 55-mile route. So Cami and I, after talking, kind of wanted to adjust somewhat of the route specifics So this is what the old route looked like. So riders will come in on North Market Street, and then we're going to go down Main Street pretty much, but based on your guys' new bike paths, safety paths, what we instead are going to hopefully do is come here off of Soltiff Road Northeast, then come down North Market Street, then go down to Buke Street, and then follow along. So this eliminates kind of the problem that we had with our old route, and wanted to address that today and make sure that we were clear upon that. Otherwise, like I mentioned, the ride itself is September 15th, which is that Sunday. If you have anyone that's interested in riding in the ride, QR code here. Again, I'll send that to Cami after the meeting tonight. And then after the event, we also have a open community event where we'll do like a little celebration for the riders, as well as all the proceeds will go to United Action for Youth, which is the philanthropic cause of one of the learning communities or the communities at the Carver College of Medicine. So again, thank you guys for your time this evening. If there are any questions, I can feel free to take those here now.
See, on the application, it says that the bikers will be spread out, so making crowd control less of an issue. Didn't know if there's any concerns about that short portion on Highway 1, where
Yeah.
there'll be, if there's gonna be signage, or I understand if they're spread out, it'd be probably difficult to have traffic control or anything like that there, but just curious if there'd be signage or some type of way to warn drivers that bikers would be out on Highway 1, even though it is just a small portion of Highway 1.
Of course, yeah. So I've been in contact with Johnson County Emergency Management Services, as well as each city that will be traveling to along the way to make them aware of it, as well as there will be signage. With the 55-mile route in specific, there should only be about 10 to 20 riders total that will do that route. So it's no different than if 2 or 3 people are out on a Saturday morning too. So for ride specifics, it's nothing crazy, but yes, there will be signage along the routes as well.
Okay. Yeah, numbers definitely less of a concern with that few riders on the long route.
Saying how many people want to do a 55 mile.
Exactly. Yep.
And I'll also add that Solon's hosted this ride for several years, and it's been a great group to work with.
Any other questions, Spencer? All right, thanks for running through that for us.
Of course. Thank you.
And the last item under the consent agenda is the lease agreement for JCB Services, Bluffs Game Day for the Oktoberfest. Cami or Kevin, any major callouts with the lease agreement, or just pretty standard lease that we've done for other?
This is a standard agreement that Kevin prepares anytime we have a group that wants to lease Main Street, similar to BPA, similar to some of the events that Legion has held, pretty standard agreement. It ensures that they are leasing what we would consider the event area, which is necessary for when they apply for their alcohol license, that they have a designated area.
Okay. All right. Do we have, I guess, any questions, comments, concerns on any?
No concerns with any of the liquor license.
Do we need to officially table Sam's Market, Main Street? I would just have it, I would just say if you want, whoever does the motion can approve the consent calendar, less that item.
But that was for Sam's, that was,
That was just an automatic.
The automatic.
This isn't gonna stop him doing his license now.
oh, okay.
This is just for the automatic in the future. We're not, he doesn't need it to keep having his license right now.
Okay.
I will move to approve the consent agenda with Sam's Main Street item tabled.
I'll second.
Duncan?
Yes.
Farlinger?
Yes.
Gabriel?
Yes.
Kramer?
Yes.
Whitehead?
Yes.
All right, takes us down Public Works Director Scott.
Well, when you have 4 inches of rain and you start discovering you have drainage issues, so the guys have been busy working on Silver Street. There was some storm sewer pipe that was installed there years ago by the residents in the ditch, and we've had to replace all that, place a couple intakes in. We got that 4 inches of rain, we pretty much washed out a lot of the rough grading we've done. And also, we noticed that there's a tremendous amount of water coming from the old high school, the community center area. And, so we are getting that addressed. I'm not, they had talked to a private contractor about installing an intake in the backyards of those residents. And, we are helping out, somewhat with that and the cost of that for that contractor, but I would not put our equipment back there to do it. So they're handling the contractor part and we're paying for materials for that. North Iowa Street, very head of North Iowa Street. We've got that all dug back out again and re-rip wrapped. Chapel Street across from the elementary school's been all dug out. Those are areas that we'll have to come back and seed here. The curb and gutter projects on South Iowa Street and also Main Street, the concrete work has been completed today. Tomorrow, the asphalt contractor will be mobilizing equipment in to do the milling of the surface that's there. And the lay down asphalt paver is gonna be following that right up. So he's anticipating by the end of the day, Friday, that they'll be done with both of those projects. And then it'll just be up to us as the city with backfill and restoration of the yard. I don't know if you guys noticed, but the veterans banners, they had 9 of them. And we installed those today, this afternoon, and hoping that now that people can see them, that there's more movement with that. Also, this afternoon, I had a leak detection company, different company than what we normally utilize, come in to do another leak survey of our community, trying to figure out where all of our excess water is going that we're not billing for. So I'm hoping that we get hopefully some positive results. We still know that the leak across the street is still ongoing. Lynch has assured me they will be here next week now. So we've been dealing with quite a bit of fire station internet issues from July 23rd is when it started. We think we have a handle on that today, but we spent a lot of time down there trying to rectify what's going on. Had to replace a network switch, 48 port network switch, and been a fun deal. Playgrounds, of course, with all that rain that we've had this season, the playgrounds were looking pretty shabby, and the mulch had kind of dissipated, just breaks down. So we've got the 3 big main playgrounds mulched, Randall, Fox Ridge, and Mineral Estates. And then the last thing I have is I sent out for quotes for asbestos removal. Asbestos mitigation on the 2 homes. And I got bids back today, quite close. The low bid is ITII Group, and their bid to mitigate both homes is $5,100. If you guys are okay with that, I will proceed.
That's so good. Seems pretty good.
Yeah.
The other bid was 51.50.
I thought you were gonna say 51,000.
Expecting quite a lot more, so sounds great.
I had a question about the Main Street, with them milling all that and everything, this week. Is that gonna close that entire road for a day?
Yes.
Or are they just gonna do one
No.
side and then the
No,
other?
we're gonna close the entire roadway. I've already talked to the BP station.
Okay,
We will let traffic in and out and get to ID and the hairstylist there, but regular vehicle travel will not be able to do.
okay.
No. Well, we'll see. It depends on how much they get done on Thursday on Main Street. But I did alert the school for the South Iowa, let them know that probably wouldn't be available on Friday.
Okay.
They did not plan that.
I say there's a couple buses I know that go down Main Street as well, so. Anything else?
All right, thanks, Kathy. All right, Liz with the library report.
Yes, we had an incredibly successful summer reading program again. In your packets, you can see, Megan created a fun little graphic so you can see how many books were read, how many people participated. We increased another 51 participants, so that's great. We had 97 programs during the summer with 2,260 attendees. We gave away a total of 40,671 small prizes. 795 of those were stuffed animals, but most exciting to us, 595 were books. So kids were picking books, of course adults were too, but just so exciting. And then 279 were coupons for local and regional businesses. So we're so grateful for that support. Obviously the support of the city council in terms of our budget to be able to do this, but also all of the local businesses. It's just a great partnership. We had 13 grand prizes that we gave away. The two most popular were the local business card gift card bundles and then the giant dino stuff. So, just a great summer. I am so proud of our staff, working so hard to make all this happen. And it's been wonderful. And we're gearing up now for after school. We will start our after school programming the week of Labor Day. And we've just hired our new teen services librarian, Christian Bronze is his name. He just recently got his MLIS degree from the university. He did his practicum and has also volunteered at North Liberty Public Library. So we started training him and it's been going great so far.
Thank you.
Yep.
City engineer report, Dave.
Yeah, a few things, Trail Ridge Part 2, they ripped out the old beaver pit and they're doing work on getting the new one installed, the city limits. They have sidewalks installed out there yet and continue on some of the other utilities. Wastewater plant project, we're working on a write-up with some graphics to show how wastewater facility will work. And that'll be in the paper here shortly. With that, Prairie Rose Lane, we talked about doing that pavement inlay on the east end. And Scott and I talked a little bit before the meeting here. We're going to try to get that out, at least talk with contractors and see if they can fit it in yet this fall. If so, we'll put that out for bids. Water main project is on the agenda tonight for closeout, so that should be addressed. The school district, if you've noticed on the north side of town, they have pretty much finished that site plan. Looks pretty nice out there. They've got the shelter end of it on the south side, and then they did a good job on the parking lot. Looks pretty good. So I don't know if we've been driving out that way, but that's close. And then the only other thing that I have is a number of site plans and plats and that sort of thing that Canyon, Scott, and I have been working through that eventually will make it your way, but that's been keeping us pretty busy. So.
Thanks, Dave. City attorney, Kevin. That takes us down to new business, a resolution 2429, the road closure for Buff's Oktoberfest. Discussion, possible action on resolution 2429. This is the September 28th event that we have approved both the event and the outdoor service and the lease for.
That's our standard road closure resolution for that event, which is scheduled September 28th, not October, but still close enough.
Assume that'd be a Saturday morning closure and a Saturday evening.
I just put in the resolution the whole day.
Okay.
I didn't put times.
I'll move to approve resolution 24-29.
All right, Duncan,
Yes.
Farley.
Yes.
Gabriel.
Yes.
Kramer.
Yes.
Wyatt.
Yes.
All right, it takes us down to item 14, the Board of Adjustment, the ham variance, council, discussion possible action, the Board of Adjustment, rear yard setback variance granted to Scott and Christina Ham for an enclosed deck. Kim?
Board of Adjustment met on the 13th of this month. Hams have backpack night with their kiddos, so otherwise they would be here, but I assured them that this is much of a formality, unlike the Board of Adjustment meeting itself. So the Hams live on a corner lot in Windmill Estates, and they have an open deck, and an open deck is allowed to encroach up to 10 feet into the setback. But as soon as you put a cover over a deck, it extends the roof line, and it's now part of the primary structure of the house, which now means you need to have 32 from the rear. Because they are a corner lot, they need to have 27 from both sides. The Board of Adjustment felt that there were some unique situations to their lot that they felt comfortable granting the variance. It was an 18-foot variance to allow them to enclose that existing deck.
Were there any concerns at the meeting or any neighbors or anybody that had voiced concern with that?
No, and I didn't receive any comments.
It looks like from the application, this is a variance that has been given to other.
It is, and the board is a little concerned about these repeated requests for these enclosed porches, so they really try hard to, try to find a unique situation, what's gonna prevent everyone from coming. This is a situation that even, these people didn't design the house, they bought it already, it was already, built. So they didn't have a lot to say, but when you're on a corner lot, you're pretty limited. The design of your house is kind of dictate, you don't have a lot of options when you're on a corner lot. Even if, even if they wanted to enclose, the builder wanted to enclose it at the time, a board of adjustment variance would have been needed. So they would have had to probably do a different house design. That's obviously out of the current owner's control. The board felt that, again, it wasn't the owner's doing, that they, on the design of the house, and also the corner lot just, limit the options that they had. So they felt in the situation that they would grant it.
Any comments, questions, or concerns?
I'll just make a comment with that area. The wind gets, with the pond being right there, the wind, it's just a wind tunnel, and you can't really use your deck for much of anything. If it's not enclosed, you can't hardly even keep a grill up back there. So I'm definitely in favor of creating this variance.
I'll move to approve the Board of Adjustment and variance.
Duncan?
Yes.
Marlene?
Yes.
Gabriel?
Yes.
Kramer? Whitehead?
Yes.
Takes us to item 15, Board of Adjustment Conditional Use Permit for Waddell. This is the council discussion, possible action on the Board of Adjustment Conditional Use Permit granted to Eric Waddell to permit current light industrial storage and a rental space for local sports clubs. Kim?
Eric's here tonight. Again, the Board of Adjustment met and reviewed Eric's request on the 13th of August, and the situation is when the Empire Building was constructed, there was a space in the back that was used for storage, whether it's business, personal, I'm not sure, but it was approved as storage space. The occupancy at the time of the building permit was for storage space, and Eric reached out wanting to rent that space to a local ball club, baseball, softball club, so they could use it as training space and practice space. Because the space has been an occupancy of storage, it's not habitable. Also, the building itself, the Empire Building, is there on a conditional use permit. It's not an allowed use in a light industrial zone, so the building itself. So there's a couple things. So the Board of Adjustment felt that all the original conditions still stand of the original conditional use permit, which meant that, if the building changes hands, the conditional use permit does no longer applies. However, they did extend the fitness theme to cover the entire building, so they were comfortable with the sports fit into that theme. They did want to limit the hours. They do want to make sure that it's not, the hitting of bats and balls isn't a nuisance. They did limit the times from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. So their conditional use permit, it's kind of a layered conditional use permit now. Eric was comfortable with the conditions. What this does is it opens the door for Eric to then come ask the council for a change of use for the building, for that space in the building, because it is a change of use, and that is not the original approval that the council gave under the site plan process. So this conditional use permit that was granted by the Board of Adjustment opens the door for the next agenda item, which is a change of use request.
Eric, anything you wanna?
I just, when I fill out the form and everything, it just was very clear, there's really no change or effect on anything, nothing will change on the outside of the building. We have parking, there's really no negative effect.
Questions, comments, or concerns? We have a motion to approve the Board of Adjustment
I'll
conditional use.
move to approve the Board of Adjustment conditional use permit for 100 Windflower Lane.
I'll second.
All right, Duncan,
Yes.
Farlinger.
Yes.
Gabriel.
Yes.
Kramer.
Yes.
Whitehead.
Yes.
Takes us down to the change of use requests at 100 Windflower Lane. Kim.
So as practice, whenever there's an amendment to an original site plan, council needs to weigh in as to whether they want to allow the change of use. Again, I addressed, the Board of Adjustment addressed the hours of operation with their condition of 7 AM to 10 PM. They addressed that it can't be if the building changes hands, that use now does no longer applies. What we typically do at this point is I ask Dave to review things from a site plan standpoint, noise, lighting, parking. Is this new use gonna impact the original site plan review that came before the council? And those are the kind of things that are reviewed at that time. Dave's done a little bit of looking into kind of this type of facility and thought through what his findings are.
The items that we were concerned with primarily are the parking and the noise. The noise has been addressed through the restriction of the hours by the conditional use permit. The parking, we're changing from a use that was originally permitted as one space per 200 square feet or 45 parking spaces, which are provided in the lot, to a less restrictive or a less dense parking requirement. And I've looked through some different community ordinances. This is generally referred to as sports practice facilities, and looked at quite a few different communities. Most of them are looking at 2 spaces per 1,000 square foot in their ordinance, or 1 per 500, which is less dense than the 1 per 200 that would be for retail or commercial. So any use any portion of the building that is converted is has less of a parking requirement than what's currently provided, so there should not be additional parking spaces. The rest of it seems like there's no impact on the outside of the building for a conversation. Nothing's going to change physically on the site, it's just a use. And the parking is really the only thing that we perceive that would potentially be impacted from that.
Thoughts, questions?
To approve the change of use request.
All right, Duncan,
Yes.
Farlinger.
Yes.
Gabriel,
Yes.
Kramer.
Yes.
Whitehead.
Yes.
All right, takes us to item 17, Chapel on Elm Street Water Main Project, final pay estimate number 7. Dave.
This is for release of the retainage on the project. We have previously accepted the project. We just need to release the retainage 30 days after we accept it. So we're getting this out of the way so that once we get to that period, we can release the check on that date. Again, just release the retainage for the project, so recommend approval.
I'll move to approve, pay estimate number 7.
I'll second.
Duncan.
Yes.
Farlinger.
Yes.
Gabriel.
Yes.
Kramer.
Yes.
Whitehead.
Yes.
All right. That takes us down to other business, council committee. So no meetings planned for several of the committees that we have, and a couple of meetings to be scheduled. The police committee and the city school, next meetings on that. I'm sure we'll get through the start of school as things settle down
And
and.
Davis said he needs a few weeks.
Get into the swing of things.
All right, that takes us to the city clerk reports. All right, city city administrator comments, Cam,
No comments?
council comments? All right, I do not have any comments as well, so it takes us to a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Bust out a nay.
Never had it. I thought about it.